finally went home, they rarely boomeranged back. Why had I returned? In making my way to graduate school, it was a business program with an international component, I had to explain in an application why I wanted to study such things as discounted cash flow and conjoint analysis. On this other motivation, I was drawing somewhat of a blank. On the surface, Miss Zhang appeared a serious woman. She considered me for the briefest moment and then broke the silence between us by saying, "You know what you should tell people when they ask you that question?" Then she giggled. "You should tell them, 我上了这船. I'm on the pirate ship." It was a twist on an old idiom, one that suggested it is easier to jump on a tiger's back than to dismount. I got the reference, but wondered, was the ship meant to be China? Who were the pirates? In the back of my mind, a light bulb went off, one that would take me years to identify. Only later would I conclude that Miss Zhang had picked up on something, that I was lost, and what she ultimately offered me was not a conversation starter, but a hint of where I ought to be looking for inspiration. Not long after graduating from the University of Pennsylvania, I moved to Guangzhou, a sprawling metropolis located 2 hours north of Hong Kong, and from there I began a career representing American companies that had manufacturing interests in the region. The work put me in contact with Chinese factory bosses who were indeed pirate-like in their approach to commerce, and I appreciated that they shared a similar brand of humor to Miss Zhang's. In the middle of the boom in export manufacturing, I found myself riding a train in Guangdong, seated facing 2 questionable-looking characters who were dressed head to toe in black. My reputation as a fixer was established by this time, and they easily appeared to be the sort who traded merchandise for a living. Almost as soon as we pulled out of the station, the man seated by the window began eyeballing me, so I thought I would break the ice. "你们从哪里来的?" I asked him. "You wouldn't know the place," he said. "I've been around. Try me." "It's a small city," he demurred. "你说吧," I insisted. "Where are you from?" "Chaozhou," he said finally. "We are from Chaozhou." I had worked in Chaozhou with a factory there that made Majolica-style pottery. It was an out-of-the-way place, and though I had never experienced trouble there myself, I was familiar with its nasty reputation. Putting on an air of familiarity, I told him that I knew his fair city well, because I had once been swindled there. 我在你们潮州被骗了, I said, deadpan. He caught the joke and laughed. That a foreigner would be cheated in his roughneck city was a given. That the Laowai outsider should take such abuse as the normal course of events made it hilarious. His partner, who wore a cap, was considerably less amused. "Cheated in Chaozhou?" he said, sounding incredulous. "That is impossible. The people of my city would never cheat a fine foreigner such as yourself. Whatever the circumstances of your dealings, surely there must have been some misunderstanding." His partner, the fellow by the window, was no longer smiling. I couldn't quite catch the relationship between the two, but knew at least which one could be trusted. China was a rough-and-tumble world, all right, and there were those who were frank about the place and those who put on airs and graces. You appreciated the ones who gave it to you straight because you knew that you could work with them. The other sort was nothing but trouble. Imagine standing under an awning in the middle of a downpour, commenting on the weather, only to have some stranger next to you respond, "Rain? What rain?" China brought many meaningful lessons, but only in great retrospect. It takes time for the subconscious to process the unfamiliar. Patterns form only slowly, and then you have to wait as certain realizations bubble to the surface and become points of awareness. Along the way to enlightenment, it is also necessary to let go of preconceived cultural notions, which often impede understanding. A few years ago, wandering around Hong Kong, I had the idea to buy a new pair of shoes. This was in Tsim Sha Tsui, in the days before they ripped down the Hyatt Regency Hotel on Nathan Road, replacing it with the popular commercial center I Square. There used to be a small shop just behind the hotel, right off Peking Road, and in the storefront window I spotted a sign saying that it was an official reseller of a popular American watch.